Hello everybody, welcome back to more Snatcher on the Sega CD. So we are in the official real part of this hospital. Excuse me, the underground level of this hospital, which is a pretty much exact duplication of the top floor. So let's look around. There is a reception booth in the middle of the floor as upstairs. And there are 3 doors off the hallway. Everything is exactly the same. It's like we've jumped through a time or something. It's been polished quite meticulously, nothing like upstairs at all. I see, it was a linoleum floor, huh? I think that's the first time I've ever seen the word linoleum written. The monitors and control consoles also appear well cared for. In other words, the stuff gets looked at regularly. We better be real careful. The monitors are switched off, but the AC power lamps are still lit. Okay. That door is closed. That door is closed. That door is closed. Alright. Let's investigate. Who are we allowed to talk to? Gillian, please be more quiet. They'll hear us. Why do I have a talk option? Okay, investigate the area. I'm not reading any movement. We are the only ones in here. It's waxed rather nicely. I just can't imagine a bunch of snatchers crawling around waxing floors. They probably use iRobots. They seem to like things tidy, don't they? It's obviously used differently from the floor above. Obviously. There are switches here to open the doors. Look at switches. There are switches here just like the first floor. So they work the doors just like upstairs, huh? Apparently. What's this? Unlike the first floor, there are only 2 door switches. That's not good. It's been used quite recently. The monitors are still warm. Okay, wasn't sure if we clicked on monitors. Only 2 buttons on the switch. I wonder how one can get the 3rd door open. There must be some kind of trick or something. I mean, there's only 2 buttons. There are only 2 buttons here. There must be some way to open the 3rd door. Let's check out this floor a little more. Okay. The switches. Okay, so let's do switch 1. Alright, I'll push switch number 1. Door 1 is opened. Let's make a hard save here. First. Okay, so we will move to the first door. Alright, let's check out the first room. We're in room number 1. The lights are on, unlike upstairs. There's an operating table in the middle of the room. This appears to be their real treatment area. With these lights, it actually looks like a real hospital. Various X-ray devices have been installed in the ceiling. A number of brand new medical monitors are installed. It appears to be a standard operating table, cables running from it to a number of the machines around the room. It's a nice tripping hazard. Okay. Investigate the area or around the room. There's nothing of note besides the medical equipment. It's a pretty big place. Can't really see everything at once. Let's take a look from one side to the other. Okay. Investigate ceiling. Besides the standard X and gamma rays, they can also project neutron and proton particle beams with this equipment. I would suspect that it is used in cancer treatment. Interesting. Well, we already know that. These are monitors for ultrasound, MRI scans, and other imaging equipment. They are already connected to the nearby machines. The surface of the bed is still quite warm. It's as if someone was lying there until just moments ago. I'm not picking up any movement, at least not anymore. There was some movement, but I've lost it now. Okay. Let's smell. Oh yeah, it's that same smell you get at just about any hospital, an operating one, that is. And then talk. I wonder if this is where they carry out their treatment. It sure looks that way. Okay, we have look over. Alright, let's look over the entire room. La da 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 da. It's a Snatcher. Don't scare me like that, it's just a specimen. Okay. Look at skeleton. It's a model of a human skeleton, no doubt used for anatomical study. This is rather grotesque. It's somewhat distorted. For a medical model, it's quite inaccurate. Okay, look over. Uh-oh. The skeleton is gone. It was definitely there a moment ago. I read movement. Gillian, watch out. Uh-oh. Shoot, aim for the head. Gotcha.
Did I get it? The Snatcher's functions have been terminated. There's no doubt now that this is their maintenance facility. This one was probably still waiting to get its artificial skin installed.
So this is what they really look like, huh?
Yeah, that's the scariest thing about them. You can't tell them from real people once they've got that skin on.
Perhaps that's humanity's great weakness. We're always judging books by their cover.
And it's just that human weakness that they're out to take advantage of.
All right, Random. Metal, let's go. The HQ's junk squad can take care of him later. We've got an investigation to do.
That's what you get. Turning your back on him. I think it's definitely dead, or terminated this time. Yes, all its functions have ceased. I don't read any residual energy either. Are you hit, Gillian? Yeah, but just once. Don't worry. Is this the second time? The second time Gillian has been shot, and he's okay? That was quite a tough customer. You get a few hundred of those together, that would be it. Gillian, let's get on with the investigation. So they got green blood like a predator. Look. Snatcher. The remains of the Snatcher are on the floor. Its functions have been completely terminated. It won't be moving again. Are you sure? Can we smell the Snatcher? The stench from the Snatcher we wasted is still around. What does it smell like? So it looks like this is where they're doing their treatment. And the proof is over there on the floor. Okay. Let's go out in the hall. Just like that last one, you never know when they might pop out. Keep your blaster ready, Gillian. We're in the hospital's hallway. See, a dude was just in there hanging on a pole, you know, getting ready to get skin put on. So yeah, in the first part where You see the zoomed in face, you gotta aim for the very top of the head, and then you just need to shoot the bottom left corner when he pops up on the floor again. Alright, actually, you switch, close switch 1, and we will open door 2. And go to door number 2. Let's take a look in the second room. Keep your gun ready. We're in room number 2. Look at this. Some kind of testing equipment is running. I'm looking at the eyeballs bouncing around. It's pretty crazy. That's a real nasty sound. It gets on my nerves. This room seems to be their real biotech research lab. Looks like Frankenstein could show up at any minute. It is well equipped with micro manipulators, various types of lasers. It has a microsurgery system. There are a number of jars for formaldehyde and other chemicals. There are a number of machines for biotech experiments. It seems they are quite serious about their work. They're all They are all the finest quality monitors, microscopes, and the like. Samples mutated cells and organs with tumors. I don't want to look at this stuff. Looks like a face hugger in that one test tube there. The room is illuminated with red light. It makes for a very disquieting atmosphere. What are they doing here? What with all these samples, this looks like a lot more than a place to treat skin cancer. Well, maybe they make Snatchers here. Or they're trying to infuse more human body parts into the Snatchers instead of just skin, would be my guess. Argon lasers, argon dye lasers. An argon dye laser. Okay. Huh. It's a device for selectively destroying certain types of cancer cells. Okay. They also have the latest gene cannon. Everything is quite neatly organized. There are samples here of monoclonal antibodies. What in the world is that? Antibodies which are said to have beneficial effects on cancerous melanomas. There's no mistake, this is definitely their maintenance hospital. DNA synthesizers, DNA sequencers, and nucleic acid extractor. And these are some words. Chromatography equipment, automatic pipetting devices. That's a particle accelerator used for generate and stream of heavy particles from a number of different treatment techniques. The machine is in standby mode. It looks like the Snatchers were working on artificial skin regeneration techniques, as well as various cancer treatments. That was a mouthful. This is quite an impressive array of equipment. Some university hospitals are not stocked this well. NMR, nuclear magnetic resonance, microscopes, STMs, scanning tunnel microscopes, high voltage electron microscopes, electron beam holography cameras, streak cameras. Gillian, the Snatchers obviously possess much greater intelligence than we have previously given them credit for. Nevertheless, their technology seems somewhat dated. Dated, what do you mean by that? The equipment and techniques they are using, most of these methods were abandoned years ago. This is well behind the current level of technology in most developed countries. It's a rough approximation, but I would say that they are 20 to 30 years behind the times. Wow. What's more, judging from the imbalance of the research material here, it appears to be primarily the work of one individual. You're telling me that all this work on the Snatcher's artificial skin is being carried out by one person, and not some government institution? The design of this lab itself is in violation of a number of the biohazard prevention safety codes. While a few safety cabinets have been installed, there is no autoclave or gas sterilizer anywhere. This is quite far from P4 level. I seriously doubt that this lab was set up by a government or any other large organization. Interesting. Number of cell cultures and other specimens. It's all rather grotesque. Smell it. Phew, what a smell. Smells rotting. Smells like rotting fish or something. Smells a lot like rotting fish. There's definitely some words left out here. That's the smell of decomposing protein. Lovely. So that's the smell of cancerous skin cells, like Gibson wrote about, huh? That skeleton back there was probably waiting to get his skin here, huh? Do you think this place is only used for skin treatment? Okay. I don't think we can do anything else here. I've already read all this. Let's get out of here. I feel sick. So now we're down to just room number 3. We're in the hospital's hallway. Alright, so let's try to flick switch 1 with switch 2 already active. Door 1 opened. Okay, it didn't do any good. Well, let's look at the door 3, I guess. They're all the same doors as we saw on the first floor. There are 2 switches here. There's only 2 buttons. Maybe it can be opened using those 2 buttons. Yes. It says morgue. Okay. Morgue as in where dead bodies are kept. So that's what door number 3 is. What's 2? It says it's open. I know what to do here, but I don't know how to trigger it, so let's just go down the list here. Look at area. See if we get anything else unveiled here. If we see anything new. Okay, let's investigate again. I'm only going to read it if it's new or whatever. Just going through the options here. It's a very heavy door. Strength alone won't be enough to open it. Okay. Let's go back to the switches and shut them. Okay, here we go. However it is that it's available now, it's from something we looked at in the dialogue trees, but this is the trick. Let's close them. You got to hit both switches at the same time, not one at a time. So you got to hit 1 and 2 together.
Alright, let's try pushing both buttons buttons simultaneously.
The 2 buttons are on opposite panels, so there's no way one person can push them both alone. But if 2 of us work together, it might do it.
That's it, Gillian. It makes perfect sense. It's the same system they used to use in nuclear missile silos in the late 20th century. Eliminates the risk of one man going nuts and acting alone.
Well, it's hard to be sure, but let's give it a try anyway. I've got button 1. Random, you push number 2. You ready? On 3. 1, 2, 3.
Come on!
Blah da da da.
You did it! Door number 3 opened.
With safety measures like that, they must have had a good reason for wanting to keep it closed.
So I'm sure if this was a modern released version of Snatcher, excuse me, you'd get a Steam achievement for doing that. Alright, let's move to number 3. Are you ready, Random? Let's have a look at the last room. Pardon me. This is a morgue, so should be good stuff in here. Ew.
Good God!
I read 4 human skeletons in this room.
It's their morgue!
Perhaps victims of the Snatchers?
Well, it doesn't look like whoever put them here was too worried about making sure they would rest in peace.
No, it doesn't. These have got to be their victims.
This is probably where they hide the bodies of the originals they snatch from places like Outer Heaven.
They probably picked Outer Heaven because it gets a lot of VIP traffic. Plus, during masquerade time, they could work the place and still keep their identities secret.
Yeah, and the guy who set up the link between them and Outer Heaven was Freddy, that taxi driver. They must have gone after him not because of who he was, but what he did. After all, with a taxi, there's plenty of chances to milk your customers for information. That's probably how they learned about Outer Heaven and Plato's Cavern.
I've been wondering what they had done with the bodies.
Want to hide a book? What better place than the library? Need to hide a body? How about the morgue?
And for them, keeping the bodies hidden is crucial. I mean, if somebody who's supposed to be dead is out walking the streets, it wouldn't be too hard to figure out that something screwy is going on.
That means that if we can figure out who these bodies were, then we've just nailed 4 Snatchers.
Nice. Yeah, so these are not of the metal type. These are real human skeletons. That one on the far right looks pretty rough. I think that's the one we were zoomed in on when we walked in here. He's still got some skin left, sorta. Okay. This music's kind of weird for this part. Look around the room. It appears to have been a proper morgue at one time, but now is being used as little more than a closet. There's a ventilation duct on one side of the room. One of the bodies is still decomposing. The other 3 are little more than skeletons. Gross. There's a cover on the duct, but it has been weakened by oxidation. That one on the table is getting a good suntan. There are a few droppings on the floor from mice who are no doubt feeding on the bodies. A number of different insect larvae have infested the body. It hasn't been well preserved, to say the least. No, it's got a mouthful of maggots. But it's definitely a human body. Estimated time of death. The insects infesting a decomposing body can be divided into 8 large groups. Each of those groups works on the body for roughly 15 days, making an 8 by 15 day or 4-month cycle. As such, an analysis of the variety, number, and size of the organisms in the body allows a rather accurate estimation of which group is currently present In other words, you can figure out how long the victim's been dead without analyzing the body itself, right? On this particular body, flies have laid eggs and the maggots have grown into adult flies, so it has been less than 30 days since death. As for the other 3 bodies, 1 full cycle has been completed, so at least 4 months have passed. Okay. Been here for a month, or 4 months actually. Cause of death. Can you determine the cause of death? The bodies are severely damaged. Such a determination would require more extensive facilities than are available here. Well, you do have kind of a lab in the other room. We can't use all those fancy tools back there in that room number 2 to figure it out. Cause of death. Oh yeah, I just did that. Identity. What about the identity of the victims? Hair, clothing, even teeth, anything that could be used to make an identification is gone. There's no teeth. He has teeth. Damn Snatchers, they were careful to make sure their identities didn't get out. If we even had some teeth, we might be able to make an ID. This dude has teeth. Take his. Okay, what about these teeth here? They've been deliberately misaligned to prevent identification. What does that mean? Then I guess we'll never be able to ID them. What do they mean misaligned? Like filed off or something? There is a way. What? How? We can perform a simulated reconstruction. Fortunately, the skulls of the victims are still intact. Reconstruction, huh? Good idea. Great idea. Okay, let's investigate the duct. Warm air is flowing from the vent. It is apparently a rather large duct. Okay. Did we smell this room yet? Phew, what that stench. So that's what rotting protein smells like. The decomposition process releases numerous gases. Yes, it does. So the next thing we have to do here is reconstruct corpses. And we will do that in the next video. We're going to stop here at this point. And I appreciate you watching very much. Hope you're enjoying the playthrough. This is my second time playing through this game. I definitely am enjoying it even more, I think, the second time around. Just because I know what's going to happen, I guess. But thank you very much, and I'll see you in the next part. Bye.